In this video, we'll be calculating the horizontal bending moment on the gantry girder. So now this was the gantry girder supported on the columns on either side, and this was the crane bridge. So because of the movement of the crane bridge, so it is also causing the horizontal loads on both the ends of the gantry girder, which means it is taken by the four supports. Horizontal load is transferred to four supports equally. So therefore horizontal load will be so 10% of lifting load plus the crane load. So we have to take only the moving load. So that is the lifting arrangement is 75 kilonewton, and the load it can lift is 200 kilonewton, which is 75 plus the load it can lift is 200 kilonewton, which is 10%, that is 10 divided by 100, which is 27.5 kilonewton. Now this load will be transferred to all the four supports. So that is load per support will be 27.5 divided by 4, which is 6.87 kilonewton. Okay. So now the horizontal point load was 6.87 kilonewton on each girder, that is 6.87 each. Now for the same span of 8 meter and wheel base width of 3.5. Now here the loads are acting horizontal instead of vertical. So the bending moment we are just calculating the maximum factored bending moment will be that is the bending moment of the vertical load, which is 776.37 divided by the vertical load 212 divided by the vertical load, which is 212 into the horizontal load. So which we will be getting it as 25.17 kilonewton meter. So now for this horizontal, so I'll call it as MH, horizontal bending moment. So this becomes the maximum factored, this is maximum factored horizontal bending moment. So this is very simple. What we have done is, this is the vertical bending moment because of the vertical load 212. So we have divided this bending moment divided by the vertical point loads. So which we will be getting the bending moment per unit load. So that is again multiplied by 6.87, the horizontal loads for the same location. So we will be getting the maximum factored horizontal bending moment. Now here we can ignore the shear force. Since the shear force will be very small, the horizontal shear force can be ignored. It can only be checked for the horizontal bending moment. So our next step will be step number 5. Selection of a section. Selection of section. So we have already seen the vertical bending moment, the horizontal bending moment, and the shear force. Now to resist these bending moment and shear force, we have to adopt or select a section which is capable of resisting all earlier calculated bending moment and shear force. Now your section selection is done based on deflection criteria. It is done based on deflection criteria. So now here the permissible deflection the permissible deflection of electrically operated girder is a span divided by 750. You can refer to page number 31 of IS 800. So which is say 8000 divided by 750, which is 10.67 mm. Now we have to calculate the deflection. We have to use the deflection formula for the beam also using moment area method. Using moment area method, we will equate the deflection formula to the permissible, that is 10.67. So now for simplicity, what we will do, we will take the point loads at the center. So now this is the span of the girder, which is 8 meters, and the point loads were 212, 212. Now for simplicity of the deflection, we will take the point loads to be symmetrically at the center, whose distance is 3.5, and this is 2.25, 2.25. So now we have to draw the bending moment diagram now, that is bending moment diagram. So support reaction you will be getting is 212 since it is symmetric. Yeah. So this will be 2.25 and this will be 1.75, and the moment will be 477 kilonewton meter. So now what we have to do is, okay, now using moment area method, so the deflection at the center, so deflection maximum is nothing but what? Moment of bending moment diagram area divided by EI, that is modulus of rigidity. Your maximum deflection at the center, as per using moment area method, it will give you the moment of bending moment area about this left end divided by EI. So now writing that again in the expression form. So delta is equal to, that is bending moment diagram area, BMD area, into, since it is a moment, into x bar whole divided by EIX, say moment of inertia about the horizontal x axis, plus maybe we will assume 1 mm deflection due to self weight, which total has to be equal to the permissible deflection 10.67 mm. So now here we can calculate the bending moment diagram, moment of the bending moment diagram, Young's modulus, the deflection is known, the only unknown is moment of inertia. The only unknown is moment of inertia, which we have to calculate. So now one by one we'll be doing. We'll be calculating the bending moment of, we will be calculating the moment of this bending moment diagram. Okay, now before you proceed, so there is one more thing we have to notice is that for deflection, so we have to use working loads. For deflection, we have to use the working loads, not the factored loads. For calculation of deflection, we should be using the working loads. Now proceeding further with the calculation. So now we'll be calculating bending moment diagram of the rectangular portion separately and the triangular portion separately. So I'll be writing one by one here. So now the triangular area of the triangle is 1 by 2 into 2.25. This is 2.25 into 10 to the power 3. I'll convert it to mm into, so the moment here is 477. 477 into 10 to the power 6 to convert it to Newton millimeter. This is area, and its moment of this area from this toe of the triangle will be, the CG of the triangle will be 2/3 from the toe or 1/3 from the heel of the angle. That is 2/3 of 2.25 into 10 to the power 3. Now this is moment of the triangular area. Now coming to the rectangular area. So area of rectangle is 1.75 into 10 to the power 3 into the height is 477 into 10 to the power 6 area into the CG of the rectangle will be equidistant from either side, but the moment is measured from the left support. It is 2.25 plus half of 1.75. So 2.25 plus 1.75 by 2 into 10 to the power 3. Now what we have got is the total bending moment, of the total bending moment area. So this whole divided by, so Young's modulus is 2 into 10 to the power 5 into Ixx plus the deflection is 1 mm, which has to be equated to permissible deflection of 10.67. So when you solve for Ixx, so we will be getting it as 1.765 into 10 to the power 6 mm raised to 4. Sorry, 1.765 into 10 to the power 9 mm raised to 4. Or else, you can also call it as 1.76500 centimeter raised to 4. Now say roughly we'll increase it by say some 20%. 20% increase. Yeah. So roughly, so it can be anything between 10 to 20%. Now to be on safer side, so this value will be increased by 20%. Now I'll say Ixx is equal to 1.20 into 1.76500, which is roughly around 211,800 centimeter raised to 4. Now referring to the steel table, we have to find an I section, a built-up I section. We have to find a built-up I section. So having moment of inertia equal to this much. Now we should be referring to moment of inertia about this horizontal x-axis axis. So now referring to steel table, we will try to locate the I section, the built-up I section having moment of inertia is equal to or greater than 211,800 centimeter raised to 4. Okay. Now referring to the steel table, we have this built-up I section. So wherein I section we have used is ISWB 600 and ISMC 400 at the top, and bottom plate is 320 into 60. and whose moment of inertia is 215,461.2 centimeter raised to 4, which is required was 211,800 centimeter raised to 4. We have taken slightly higher than what is required. And overall, these are overall cross-sectional properties. That is, area is 298.99 into 100 into square mm. Then CXX, that is CG of this from the top, 201.5 mm from the top, or 323.1 mm from the bottom. And average top flange thickness, this average thickness is 23.6, and average bottom flange thickness is 34.4 mm. Yeah. So now, yeah, and this is the cross-sectional property of the top channel section used, ISMC 400, whose area is 6293 square mm, and CG of that channel from the top is 24.2 mm.